and chasing every little light. Rather trying hard to feed the home. Still strong, though he wants someone. Every star that I give on me, every soul that believes in me. No matter where you come from today, your story can open the way. It's less about the car. It's more who you are. It's less about the car. It's more who you are. One car, many stories, many lives, many glories. For the love of God, Uganda, changing lives across the border. One car, many stories, no moment, your story. Changing lives across many stories. Your moment, your story. Good morning, guys. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Katuve kubodi takale tuvidako. For the love of God, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to rims of patrol. Streets, we break it down. Helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of God, Uganda. Welcome to the road, and I wear out the misty soul. For the love of God, Uganda. These the stories right. Old and new, the sun will bright. Toyota, Nissan, Benz, so Mazda, we break it down, no propaganda. Every mama's got a tale, no village try to see the scale. We talk the truth of testament for God, lovers across the land. For the love of God, and now we roll. From dusty road to rims of patrol. Streets, we break it down, helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of God, Uganda. Pre-purchase checks, we lead the way. Track your car, no games to play. Restore the past, driving to tomorrow. We bring the love, not just the horsepower. If you didn't know or a TX5, we'll show you what's real, no just the hype. Styling views and engine rolls, we keep you more than just photos. And tools from the basics up. And car can stop with a new or if it's on back. More love of cars, you didn't yet be taking money. Private love, this is more than just my shit. It's the love, the life, the dream. For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to rims of patrol. Streets, we break it down, helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of God, Uganda. So guys, Mwasuze Mutia, how are you today morning? I hope you guys are doing well. Now today, I wanted us to talk about brakes, but yesterday, I could not get the chance to go buy brakes. So let's postpone it a little bit. Now, yesterday, I inspected for a gentleman, and he is the reason. Nabagamba bwomusanga ngo wadabo kabini nga afudde ku accident olumumuleke baba babinoonyeza okitegeera avuga emmotoka yo n'alaba nga amaanyi mayitirivu. So anyway guys, n'aba drone baabo like ku Kigege drone,
mostly those two guys. Kansoke mbuze kumwabakedde. Lawrence Omule, good morning. Muyombya Mark, good morning. Jambade Annington, good morning. Jones Info, good morning. Zas David Klaje, King Daniel, good morning. Juma Ali, Yusuf Minaj, Muchunguzi Gerald. I need to update my YouTube, something is not right. Funny Lifestyle, King Daniel, and Funny Lifestyle VIP, Basic Chris VIP, Okecho Richard Okema, Chiria Moses, Mogenyi Simon Peter, K. Jovan VIP, good morning. Travel Life Blog, Nampi Jajolier, Sozi Rajab VIP, Lawrence Biamukama, Balvids Wadobu Zenyo, Charles Sevaduka, and the guys Abari Mukamori. I want us to talk about a situation that I've seen many of my people in. I saw this with someone yesterday, and this happens with a lot of you guys. Now you see, the thing happens that I come here and I tell you guys price ranges for cars, and I tell you at 10 million these are the cars that you will be getting. I tell you at 15 million these are the cars that you will be getting. At 20 million these are the cars that you'll be getting. And in a way, I think you guys don't believe it. Like, even when I tell you guys I don't sell the cars, but these are the actual prices in the market. Kataba wishe yejja ya milioni 18 kwa 2 kuberi ku mabati. Eri ku mabati. Ekyo kinuwo kiraba kye kigenda ba mu milioni 23 25. Ekyo ate kibi. Like, I keep telling you guys the price ranges. Olaba Prado eyo milioni 25 kwa 3 kati erimu 25 engeri gyeri nga si nnungi nnyo, si mpoomu. Okitegeera eh? Now, many of you guys have started. Katamba Isaac Katende, good morning. Melvin Nock, good morning. What does kumabati mean? When took a mountain Morocco kumabati, it means a chari kuma the Rios, can I call it steel? Is it aluminium? The body doesn't have filler. That's what we mean. Kati yewishe kumabati. Kas aistaka kaiseo ka kumabati. Chifoti na mabati. Ka pro box ka kumabati. You get it? A battery iko filler. It doesn't have filler. Now, a car that doesn't have filler is a good car. That doesn't have a lot of filler is a good car. It means it doesn't have unnecessary weight. You get it? Musa Baluku, good morning. Now, so guys, you guys have happened to believe that you can get wholesale prices, that you're going to find someone who is broke and buy their car from them. Many of you guys believe it. You have it in your heart. And then it's made worse by TikTok, where people post cars that are too cheap, and then you believe Arthur is lying. Now, I've faced this a lot with people that say, I'm just going to call Arthur to come and inspect the car. I'll pay him, and then he just tells me whether it's okay, and then he goes. You guys are going to keep losing money in terms of inspection money. How? And me, I'm not discouraging you from doing what you're doing. What you're doing is good for me. If you do that, then I can inspect like a number of cars a day, because you call me, your car is bad, I don't have any option, we go home, and then I go inspect for other people. Now, when I say it like that, it feels like I'm selfish, but I've warned you guys. Now, yesterday I had a situation, and I've had this situation multiple times. Now, this situation, I did tell the gentleman, okay, he called me and he told me, Arthur, I want you to inspect for me a car. He said, I want you to inspect for me a RAV4 2010 model. It's manual. Now, those two things are surprising. 2010 model and manual, very rare. I said, okay. And I said, yeah, I will. Where is the car? I wanted to make sure before he committed to inspection side yali and you know the car belonged to someone who is actually my friend. It belonged to a guy that family of a guy that fixes my phones. Musajja akanika amasimu gange emmoroka eyo yaabwe. And I talked to him later, and my discovery was true. So he told me this car is at someone's home, and I said okay, and that there was hope, but the manual bit was also not. You get it was the manual bit is what I didn't actually believe. Guys, I'm going somewhere far away. Probably I'll keep you guys online. There is a car I am going to look at, a Chigege, which is on the road. Erikubala yafira kukubo. I want to look at it. Tulabe oba waliwo omuntu wange ayagala Chigege. Tulabe omuntu wange agigulayo. Bw'anaabanga si mugumu bulungi ekolwe before the convention yebeera ku display. So anyway, I inspected that car as well, and it's a sad story, but I'll share that some other time. So anyway, we go. He books, and the day comes, and which was yesterday, and we go to look at the car. I drove there before the mechanic came, and I noticed it wasn't a 2010. It was like a 2001 to 2004 model. That was okay. I did not tell the gentleman because he did not know what a 2010 model RAV4 looked like. So, and I thought it would be very cheap. So if it's very cheap, then he doesn't even have to care if it's a 2010 model. If it's cheap and in good condition, he doesn't have to bother about the model. I'll tell him later. If the car is good, he just takes it. So I do check the car, and it has, the engine is good, but then it has power. It has power surges. Let me just call them misfires. It has misfires. And I wait. I say maybe in Pulidebubi. Let me wait for the mechanic. I go pick my machine, and as I pick my machine, the mechanic also comes. I put the machine, and the machine detects multiple misfires in the car, in the engine, and it also spots cylinder 4 as a cylinder that has a problem. Now, when I put the diagnosis machine on a car, when we are diagnosing, normally the diagnosis machine will tell you if the car has a problem with the plug, it will tell you the plugs have a problem. It has a problem with the coils, it will tell you it has a problem with the coils. Yeah. Now, the things that the machines normally don't tell you is if a nozzle is bad, or if a particular cylinder is wet from oil. And normally the oil that goes into the cylinder will come either because of worn out rings, a cracked piston, or chapped sidelines of sidewalls of the cylinder itself. Now, the worst case scenario for that car would be that the cylinder has oil. That would be the worst case scenario. And I am thinking that's what is happening with that car. But I'm going to tell you soon why. Now, when the mechanic comes, he confirms that what I felt was actually true. The car also has fuel residues in the exhaust, which is black smoke. And why it has fuel residues? Because it has misfires in the cylinder, so it doesn't really burn. Fuel. The machine confirms, but we say, you know what? Let's drive to game. Normally, when someone just calls me to inspect a car without telling me how much he's buying, I just inspect and I give them the report, and then we see from there what happens. So we drive the car, and it's true, the car loses power. Going uphill is trouble. It starts losing power in gear number 2, which is strange for a manual car. It's because the car is manual. Had it been automatic, so we drive and come back. We parked. Now, this is when I break the news to the gentleman that's buying. I tell him, first, this is not a 2010 model. This is a 2001 model RAV4. And he says, okay. Second, everything else, it would be okay. It had other errors, yeah? But there are errors that are, when you're buying a used car, what errors is the oxygen sensor, because oxygen sensors are like 50,000-60,000 shillings, at most 100k. But in the oxygen sensor, so I did tell him the car is a 2010 model, and I explained to him what the misfire meant. And for the people that don't understand, a misfire could come with a plug or plugs. Now, if it's plugs, I need you to understand that's one of the easiest things. You change plugs, the car is okay. But the car had been parked for about 6 months. And now the fact that the car had been parked for about 6 months, it means this is a problem. This is the problem why they had parked the car. And the person buying this RAV4 was too into the RAV4 that he even had paid a deposit of 200,000 to show seriousness. Now, it could be the plugs, and that's okay. Buy plugs at 150,000 and the car would be okay. If it's not the plugs, it could be the coils. Buy the coils at about 200 if they're all dead, or 300,000, and your car would be okay and you'd move. But since these guys did not work on all these things, or they worked on these things and they failed, we go to step number 3, which would be the nozzles. Engine which is the 1AZ. Now, the 1AZ engine can be problematic. That's why I keep telling you guys, if you can avoid buying the 2004 Nua, let it go. The 1AZ disturbs like that. Cut now. The nozzle is like the second last step we would take. You just buy a full nozzle stick, mitwaro nga atano. Bweba kuliko nozzle emwe enfuno oboya gadde kukyusa lutiro nna n'olukyusa. And that would be okay. But for me, the trouble was, I don't want to tell someone you'll probably buy nozzles, and we end up buying the car. We buy nozzles in Morocco engine, which is the worst case scenario. Now, the worst case scenario would be that tusumulula engine ye Morocco eyo ne musanganga so ne nambanya ring izaggwako ezeeyo pistoni neeyisaawo oil atosobola kukolako sirinde emu tosobola kugulako ringi za gundi emu oba olina kusumulula yingini yonna, which would mean now they have to buy the main and piece and main bearings. They have to buy the rings, bakolemu ku head, batuuze valve. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. So that would definitely be happening. And yeah, and that's what happened. So I did tell them, at that time, that's when I asked this gentleman, how much are you buying the car? And he told these people are selling it 20 million. That's a lot for that car. It had a very good number plate though. The body looked very nice. The interior looked very good. The AC worked. And it was manual, which was surprising. Why would someone park a manual car with which is a 2-liter with working AC, new tires, good body, good interior? The only reason that car would be parked in the compound for over 6 months, because I was told basanze emoroka bagitekako n'amasepichi n'amasowani. It the emoroka yali yabatama. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this out of the bad. Kuba emoroka ya mukwano gwange chali wange okitegeera. This is the person gwempereze esimu zange n'agikola nemala wiki nga simusasudde n'atamanja. But I'm trying to show you the extent to which you guys can actually go and buy bad cars. Now later on, I called this friend of mine and I told him, the box for my diagnosis machine. So because when I reached there, his brother said, "Oh no, guy, tumumanyi tumukanikira amasimu," which is gay, right? And yeah, so I just called the other dude. Nemganira bidechi box change muchi mu Morocco yamwe. Nangamba genda okinoneyo. Nangana yo tulemeseza sena. I told him sibalemeseza. Morocco ibaddemu ebirwadde abadde agigula mugambye akatya umwe mugira. Now that car 20 million would be okay, but not for that car in manual, okay, and not in the 1AZ engine. That car would be okay if it came with the ZZ, the one in the premium new model, which is a 1.8 liter. That would be okay. It is a ZZ. Baziserera ddala bazituna million 2,627. You get. Now, at that point, I did not have an option of a RAV4 at 20 million. I'm telling you, I did not. And I'm telling you, most of the times when there is no option in the price range, you people end up going to cars that are actually bad. So I made a few phone calls and people promised to look around for me. So at this point, I told the gentleman to first go and relax in town. I will call him. Now, I want you guys to learn to relax. A person that has money is more powerful than a person that has a car. Temunda banontinyine moroka. But a person that has 15 million shillings, my car is worth more than 15 million shillings. But a person that has 15 million shillings in cash, yeah, a person that has 15 million shillings in cash is better off than me if I don't have the 15 million shillings in cash and all I have is the car. I need you guys to understand that. So, I did advise them and they decided not to buy the car. So they went and relaxed. Now, later on in the day, everyone that promised to get me that RAV4 at 23 million shillings called back and they said they did not have one. All their cars were 25, 26. Now, the other bottleneck was that the gentleman wanted to pay 15 million shillings cash payment and pay the balance later. Now, all these guys that were selling the RAV4s, they wanted a minimum deposit of 20 million shillings. You get, so it was a bit challenging to get a car. So I told them I no longer have any options. Now, the gentleman said, Atebo tufunayo spasio. At that time I was in Nakawa. Now I'll tell you the story of the other inspection I did yesterday tomorrow. But I was in Nakawa and I made phone calls in Nakawa because nadisagara kuba wendingo budde bugenza adisawa nga 10. I told him in Nakawa wali wabadde spasio nga 15 million shillings. Now the gentleman was yabadde ne mama we and the mom decided not to come to Nakawa. They said, you know what, Arthur? Jangweno Jetuli. They were in Bogorobi. There are some bonds and Chibanda are there. I said okay. So I went to Bogorobi. Now what happened when I told the gentleman Emoro Kazibuze baso segena mu bondi. Now guys, I'll tell you this, in bonds the only car they will give you at 15 million shillings first deposit would either be a Paso or Sienta. And I don't even know if they're still taking 15 million shillings on a Sienta anymore. But those are the only two cars where you will pay 15 million shillings first deposit and they give you the car and you go with it. I am saying it again. For the people that want to buy bond cars and the cash you have is 15 million shillings, the only two cars that I know, I am sure of, that you will get will either be a Paso or a Sienta. That's if you're not buying the cars at exorbitant prices. Some of you guys don't care if you buy cars at a car of 25 and you buy it at 40. So you say, those things are not fair. So anyway, they had gone to the board and they failed to get a car. Nebagenda ku kibanda ekirira nyaawo. Kati ekibanda ekirira nyaawo nze nkimanyi. Manyine moroka ezibeerawo. But when they called me, I said, yeah, let's ebiseera ebisinga nsagala kugamba someone that, you know what, awo tewali motoka kuba oyinza okugamba naganye buganyi. So we went there and then they told me the RAV4s that are here are old models, I don't want them. So they showed me a Spacio which was on digital number plate. They had digital. But the Spacio was being sold to them at 24 million shillings. And I asked, why would you buy a Spacio at 24 million shillings? 24 million shillings, at least ogenda n'ogula Paso ya 25. You get, at least ogula Paso ya 25. And I told them, at this point you're buying bad. And we advise this gentleman, you have your money. First go back with your money at home. I told him at this point, you're going to buy a bad car because you really must buy a car in your mind. And this happens to a lot of people. A lot of you guys end up buying bad cars. Arthur tells you, and that's how you struggle. There is a gentleman, I talked about him on TikTok. He asked me whether he should buy a SAF 3RZ. I told him don't buy it. I don't remember that. That's what he told me. I told him. And he bought the car. Right now the car is grounded engine baji sumulula. Is the gentleman yali complain? Yeah, this is the Kasangati Road. Mutusabide tuyiteonga tutusene wano sinza lemera wabasindika webali. So anyway, so the Spacio at 24 million shillings would be one of the worst buys. Already remember twagula ko Spacio ya 22 and I still feel embarrassed to say that twagula Spacio ku million ya 22. Which take it. So then I advised the gentleman not to buy the Spacio. I told him go back with your money at home. You lose nothing. And I advised him to collect money, make at least 20 million shillings. With 20 million shillings first deposit, there are so many cars that you could probably get. There are places where they could give you a room, there are places where they could give you a fielder. You get there places where they could give you a wish, even places where they could give you a Nua. You get. So I advised him, and they said, you know what, order town into ye to dropping a call. So we sat in the car. Now when we sat in the car, omuzimu ogwokugula emmoloka embi bwe guba gukugoberera oba omuzimu ogwokutomera bwe guba gukugoberera, the gentleman made another phone call, still from a car he got from Gigi, a RAV4 manual, and he said the broker told him the RAV4 is at Novik. Now Novik, there is Novik the hospital, and there is Novik Enterprise. I think Novik Enterprise is the one that manages transport for Novik Hospital. That there was a RAV4, but at that time we did not know it was Novik Enterprise. So when he said, I want us to look at it, he showed us the car, it looked good, and they had said 25, I don't remember very well. Now we drive and we go. There was a lot of jam, so I parked somewhere and I said, I want us to walk. But I told this gentleman, you know what, you first go look at that car. If the car is there, you can call me. But apparently the broker told them, so we walked there. When we got, at that time we thought it was the hospital. When we got to the hospital, the car was not there. So they told them maybe it's at Novik Enterprise, which is at Lumumba. At this point, I gave up. I told these people, you know what, I'm not going to come with you. When you guys find the car there, I will come. Now, me, I kind of get red flags. When I called the broker who said the car was there, the broker was not in Kampala. But he was there. He said in the city Kampala. And I told him, why don't you just give us the number of the person that has the car? He said, no, you get. So now, at that time, I knew the car probably wasn't there. And so they were there. Yeah, I went and sat in my car and waited for a phone call. And they called me later and they said the car was not there. The car was sold in February, apparently. Bajitunda Feb. You get emoroka yatundibwa Feb. You can imagine a car that was sold in February is still being listed on Gigi as available. And you know what surprised me? We tried to say what you could do, you remember you people. Terry broker Kampala wanunga manye moroka weri. Notuka wakugambye weri natalinya boda kujama lilizo mulimu taliyo. Brokers will be there until you finish. Ola batubera mu moroka ampya. Broker na atulawo paka bwe musasula ne bamwaka kina agenda, because brokers work with commission. You get. So that's what happened yesterday, and this I continue seeing this happen with so many people, especially people that don't believe what I tell them. Abantu ababeera nga balowooza Arthur tanjagaliza kugula mmotoka oba Arthur ayina ezize z'ayagala okutunda. People have reached the point of saying that Arthur alya n'abatunda emmotoka. Nze sina kyendya nabo. If you knew how many people want me to endorse them, bampeeyo akakadde. You get, but endorsement of a certain of particular trader is a bad thing, because traders bring bad cars, traders bring good cars, and they'll sell you a bad car in a heartbeat because their goal is to sell. So anyway, I've seen that thing happen to so many people, where you guys end up, you buy bad cars simply because you want to buy a car in price range that Arthur has said is unrealistic or doesn't exist. Now, that's why I said sometimes it's okay for you to let go. It's definitely very okay. Bwechireke Katutu se Kasangat, for the guys that don't know. When I take Kasangat, I used to live in this area, very near here. I used to live in this area. So guys, which one of you guys has been planning now? Which one of you guys has been planning to go buy a car, even when Arthur said that price is unbelievably low? Now there are people that are obviously buying cars that are unbelievably high. Ngategwe emoroka oli mugula ya bei nnyo okusinga bw'olina ogigula, because it has certain features that you like. But do you know why I take long to buy a car? I think now I'm going to even take longer. I take long to buy a car because nze n'obusente bwange buno obutono bwenyina bu million 5 mukaaga, I have more power than someone that has a car they are selling at 8. Okitegeera, eh? I have more power than, but some of you guys sometimes you panic. Chukula mukazi oli agula ka Suzuki Grand Vitara. Kama katonda wange. Yasugula Suzuki Grand Vitara ningamba chichi kino kyagula. Nenga at that time awira batagula Suzuki Grand Vitara eyo. Agenda banga afeirinze mbulamu, and that's not what So guys, it's important that you don't buy a car out of pressure to own a car. Don't. That's how we're going to fight the Novi car situation from our app, because this thing sold cars is common on Gigi. No, that's not going to happen with us. You see, I'm a person that believes in teams. I have a team. I work with people, guys, and this team is going to be verifying cars. We are not going to be having. I am not going to have double listings. First of all, sigenda kuba na double listings kyekisooka. Tetugenda kuba na double listings. Tetugenda kuba na mmotoka zaatundibwa. Okitegera, I'm always in the field, so there are cars that I will literally be calling emmotoka eno weerinjirabeko. Okitegera. And I'll also be doing random visits to these cars to make sure that they are priced fairly. Okitegera. Because sometimes ekitusumbuwa, omuntu agenda ku Gigi emmotoka erina kuba ya $3.4 ne bagi pricinga $2.22, ye n'agenda ng'agamba athasere emmotoka gyeziri. And I've seen those comments a lot. Emmotoka gyeziri naye ng'emmotoka teziriiyo, bweba gyeri ebambi. Now you can imagine someone senga saakebedde emmotoka eyo yabadde agenda kugula emmotoka epakinze emyezi 6 ng'ekigipakingisiza emyezi 6 kyekizibu kyekimu kye twakebedde. Naye kati yo olw'okuba tamanyi olw'okuba emmotoka agivugamu n'etambulamu, bagenda mugamba ojja kyusa pulaaga, naye ng'obuzibu si pulaaga, bali baagezaako dda. The other guys had already tried changing plugs, coils, and the things refused. Now there are only two scenarios that are now possible. One, either the nozzle stick, olutirwa mu luzungu olutirwa nozzle stick either olutirwa nozzle oba ng'emmotoka yakusiba yingi ni kwagala butayagala. Kati you can imagine buying that car 20 million shillings ne weesanga egenda kulya million endala nga 3. Anti kati weekulidde million 3. How does it take the 3 million, guys? I'll tell you how this car takes 3 million. One, you first start with plugs, the way they started also. You buy plugs, the plugs refuse. They tell you no, coil zino zezitapulaga. Tugule coil. You buy coils. The coils keep dying. Kati olaba, then they tell you, kati olaba gundi zino, olaba olutirwa nozo luno. Nozo enemu eyiwayo nya amafuta. Kati amafuta bwe gayiikayo ne gattapulaga ne gatta ne coil. And they will be telling you that. And at that time it would totally make sense. I've seen these problems myself. Nange nali mbiyiseemu kokanike emmotoka nga tewona, and then baguze nozzle. By that time ogenda bo spending $1 million saved. You get million egudde kuba pulaga bagenda kugamba ate go oba tomanyi jja zigula pulaga $3 omaze ozigula pulaga kuba emmotoka pulaga zaayo sijjaga nti ogenda zigula waddiira. No musajja avuga pre-mold model apapati emyaka gino gyonna gyamaze atandaba kusobola kukola sente zagenda kukola leero. So anyway, kati bw'omala ogula olutirwa nozo olwobaga ntujjeko head tulabe, mukujjako head lwo bazuula nti sirinda ereetayo oyiro aga kakati no muzeeyi tugenda kusumulula yingini mugikolola mmeka. Kati bw'obanga sometimes one thing I've seen with you guys, you have some mechanics that don't know exactly what to do, nga baga tujja gisiba $7,800 tuteekako obulingi bwokka wansi eteeka okuba nnamu. Kati bagisumulula bagisiba, bwe bagisiba because piece ne main zaali mbi emmotoka era ebuza amaanyi. Okitegeera obeeko nkona agatuddemu olw'ekinana kiri kigenze tetuyingidde $1,480,000 nga bagane kati emmotoka gisiba ebituufu weetaaga $1,1.5. You get kati tuyingidde $1,300,000. And it happens a lot. If it has not happened to you, you'd actually be thinking that Arthur alimba. But a lot of people go through these things. Ngoli guy gwe nayogerako WhatsApp oyo kati yagenda n'afuna makanika ku TikTok because he's a mature person, respectable, n'agamba n'omusajja tayinza kunziba. Gave the guy his money, and when gave the guy his money, gave him the cylinder head. Myezi 3 guy taddanga sente yazia cylinder head yagitwala. Kati yawayo $1,000,000 yaga 1.4 plus the cylinder head. The cylinder head alone costs about 1.4 still. Now if he's already now tormenting the guy, trying to get him to pay. Maybe he pays, maybe he doesn't. What if he gives him the cylinder head, and the cylinder head he gives him is not the one for his car? Now the cylinder head is something that will not work. Now he has to buy a cylinder head and pay another 1.4. So that means by just buying the cylinder head, he has already spent like 3 million shillings. Yeah, so 3 million shillings. Now he has to pay another like 1.5, 1.8 to overhaul the engine. You get that would mean he's spending 4.5 million shillings. Why? Because Arthur told him don't buy that stuff, and he bought it. I don't know when I told him don't buy it, but he told me, he asked me, Nemogamba Tojigura. And the stuff is not a bad car, but when it's priced below market price, there is always a problem. There is always a problem. I think the fuel rail, common rail is what common rail, nozzle stick. Fuel rail, yeah, I think it's a fuel rail. Then nozzle stick sounds more natural. If we just translate from Olutirwa nozzle, the rail doesn't sound totally authentic Ugandan. You get. Tebasobola sente zebiganye. And now katulafo gyenjogerako, I even know the owner of the kanazeyo newaka ewaabwe ne muzeyi ne mulaba ne mbabuuzako ne bampa ekibokisi kyange ekya diagnosis machine. Emmotoka ebirala byonna nnungi, eggalawo na remote, essa akola emipiira mipya, bode empya, interior nnungi, okitegeera generally. But also the other disadvantage that was with that RAV4 is that it's a UK spec. The spares are a little bit different, which means they're going to be a little bit more expensive. After I want to use Toyota Noah 2008, I have 18, you can't get it. Love each other. A Toyota Noah 2008 minimum should be like 28, 29. The minimum. At 28, 29, you look for that car, not find it. You need to. That's the minimum, I'm telling you. And at 28, 29, you're likely to find one that has a faulty gearbox. Probably faulty gearbox, bad body, accident history. Most good Noahs right now, whether it's a 2007 or 2008, are 30 million plus. And it's very hard to find a Noah 2007 guy, it's good. Because most of the people that have been buying these cars buy them for commercial purposes. You guys, so should I say bye to you or tugende package tugenda? So guys, should I keep you on until where we are going? Tugende bagamba you do fundraise for data, you don't fundraise. Kati data kati wano twakosa GB tugenda kongera kendala billing aje tugenda wala. Just know je tugenda wala. Kati yo nuwa ekyali mpya. Erimu. So guys, mungaye mugenda gula studying Hambalinde abantu bange wano bamanyi ndi mugagga. Cannot get a Noah. Maybe a Noah 2004 model. But it has that engine that I've told you about. The Noah you can get is that red Noah that is coming. Ojirabe yo Noah eja. Yerima begawa tax that one. That model. Yongambi. That's the one that has the engine in the other for close to 3 years now. Yagitadeko on a digital number plate. But from that no, I've not seen another one that is that good. Neba na ile moroka banange yabadde ne park ze n'engine bagyozezza kasaba tegedde customer ajja n'engine ne bagyoza yonange ejjudde ebisooto. I don't know bayayitawa. Arthur, I'll compete better, but I really want you to help with the pros and cons of Mitsubishi Outlander. Guys, guess where we are going? Guess where we are going, guys? Tugenda Kayunga. Go with the send that data. You send data money, send data money, send data money, send data money. Arthur, that's an iPhone ringtone. You once confessed you don't like iPhones. I don't like iPhones. You know mutu gwenda yemoroka ya ina iPhone. Nese mosekata wa ina Android, Samsung over S10 na yeka ina ka akantu. Isebu mulekira okujina mbo iPhone. Aha, guys, tugenda Kayunga musindike sente za data, musindike sente za data. Kanda beri ano bali tutuse Kayunga. Eri anda doli tuke Kayunga na ye. One of the reasons we are having data issues, I think my phone is in battery save mode. Let me just remove battery save mode. We see if if the network will be better than it has been. Aha, you guys, olaba Ipsam eyo. Eyo super. Ipsam super ogiraba. Weri awo ya milioni nga 8 kyokka twalina omusajja nga anoonye moroka ya musamuga gatavuga Ipsam. Waliwo sente z'obeeramu nga Ipsam yeringa ye moroka gy'osobola okugula erimu ku magezi. Kati Ipsam ya milioni ate simbi nnyo 8 7 kitundu ogigula n'ogenda yiye eyisa n'okuyisa. Eyisiza n'okuyisa. Na ye, you guys, yesterday I was telling you that our driving permits are not the problem. Abasirikale team is otujjanga ko permit. This car is dangerously loaded. Ogira bweti sobubi. Eyekuti yevayo bweti negwa nitto omuntu. Ekubyo wa boda, egude ogira akuti ya sima sibe. That's dangerous. Neba no babale kabone batambula, bali badde baganti ebintu bitambuliringa mu box body. It is safer. Ensawo ziyiseko no side ziyiseko na eri side. Those are our problems. Problems are facing abantu bavuga nti balina permit. Oyo omwana oyo avuga eyo lole, avuga class evuga lole eyo. Ye class evuga moroka jenvuga kati evuga paso. So you cannot tell me that that person is more qualified than Arthur to know what's dangerous. Me, I know. Nze nyina class ya sino tracker, nyina class ya forward. You get. So that person driving that car could very well be a boy that learned to drive last month. So those are the cars. So Mitsubishi Outlander. The Outlander is a good car, which all cars are good cars. But a BBB Singana, we can only compare the Outlander to the Nissan X-Trail. Yeah? We can compare the Outlander to the Nissan X-Trail. And the X-Trail is bad news, we all know. Now I've seen people saying the T31 is a good. Now Gantino, Wobogenda Wasamaraya, Bamalaya Binatete, Bokari Kare Coxing Abibwa, is Malaya Bamalaya. So the Nissan X-Trail is bad news. The Outlander, personally, I've seen people driving the Outlander and Gaziku number and Kadoxing X-Trail. Like right now, if I find a Nissan X-Trail, could you be Ebe Wanga Denyo? Nenga ate, we have seen Mitsubishi Outlanders kuyu SZ ingitambula. Now, it's not cheap to maintain. It's definitely not cheap to maintain. But it can, as long as it doesn't overheat. Olaba bantu wabwe bavuga ate no msajja mukulu ali myaka nkaga yavuga bwatyo. Most of the people that have had trouble with Outlanders have had trouble because the Outlander overheated and they did not notice that the car overheated. Now, when the car overheats normally and your mechanic doesn't realize that it's overheating, basobola okusumuluza buli kimu. bakola wiring, babika computer, ne babika nozo, ne babika chi, ngaye ng'emmotoka ekyamusa. Ate sometimes emmotoka esobola okukyamuka mu katono n'ekutula bukutuzi gasket. Bwekutula gasket esobola okuba ng'eyaka naye ng'ebuza amaanyi. Kati emmotoka eyaka n'ebuza amaanyi, if diagnosis is poor, obeerawo n'obonaabona n'emmotoka yo ng'esobola okutambulako wano nawali n'ezikira. Most of the people that have struggled with Mitsubishi Outlanders have had the problem of overheating. It wasn't that the car was bad or what. And the other people that have struggled because they had bad mechanics. Mechanics abatetenkanya. Buy a Mitsubishi. I recommend that you get your Outlander from the bond if you can. And right now, you could get a Mitsubishi Outlander like a 2012 model at like 38 million. There is no SUV at that amount right now if it's not an X-Trail. Most of the SUVs will be 60 million shillings. The cheapest SUVs apart from the Outlander will probably be the Forester. And the Forester will probably cost you 53 million shillings for a 2013 model. The Outlander is more of an SUV than the Forester. The Outlander comes with 7 seats. SUVs on Nazona, the other SUV that comes with 7 seats is the Vanguard, and the Vanguard is probably going to cost you like 62 million shillings. Outlander again costing like 38 million shillings. So me, I am all for, if I had to choose an affordable SUV right now, I'd definitely go for the Outlander now. The CG sober because in the Navze hybrid, hybrid. That's what I could demo zidi moroka inzo kwetuka. Kubazi zidi moroka zo nazinywa. Okitegera zino engendo zonna zonna nzikola bwenti because nvuga hybrid kati kuba kweyagala kwereere. Okitegeera. Arthur, does it make sense to flip a Toyota Wish at 5 million without a gearbox? A car that doesn't have a gearbox, the gearbox is not the only problem, I can guarantee you. Okusanga emmotoka nga terina gearbox, chances are high the gearbox is not the only problem. You need to look closely at that car. It makes sense. You're going to buy a gearbox probably 2 million or 2.5 million shillings. We shared the million in Musambu Chitun. But so tosobola tell you mbaba subuzi bone bagireka gwe nojjagwa atali musubuzi go flipping. And remember guys, I told you if you want to start flipping cars, you need to be extra careful. You need to be extra careful. Your business here abantu faint of the heart. Car flipping is hard. Car flipping is hard. You know, kubanga, you're ready to lose some money. Even the traders themselves lose money. Katulaba no extra the number. Katulabobe wangade. Ndabi extra the ku UAY. So now with the car is the neighbor of that person. The car stays there all the time. So guys, don't buy X-Trails. If you go and buy it at 0 mileage, you buy. But in the bond, yeah, or use, actually in the bond it's also probably okay. You're going to drive it for 3 years before it disturbs you. But if you're going to buy a used Nissan X-Trail, you're going to face a lot of trouble. Don't buy. The Starlink Mini can work while moving. Just fix it on the car and drive as long as you're connected to it. I want to buy the Mini. Na Mini ebuze. Munsabide. So Frank, don't flip. I can buy from you at 4 million, then I make it a project car. Ate naye ayagala gigula ttaano, ate gwe ogimuguleko nnya. Oba oyagala esooke mutama mugaye kankuweemu ennya ng'emutami. So Frank, better very careful. Better very careful. Flipping is very tempting. It almost feels like we're about to flipping, but not over flipping. And we know, we hear a lot of stories of good news. People are telling us, moroka yange najigula 12 nejivuga emyaka 2 nejitunda 14. So for you in your head it says oli baba yajivuga emyaka 2 najikola kama magoba gabbi. Tekoda magoba. In those 2 years he has spent money on that car. Money he will not tell you. Probably it even died najipakinga ko nemyezi 2 naita jebe na big gamba. Bwakugamba kino, it's the thing that sounds good nagule moroka million 12 nenji tuna 14 after 2 years. Maybe atagambe is how much money he has invested in that car during the period that he has had it. Aha karafu ke lwatu kebera kabadde bwe katyo modde yo yennyini. Kusangira Arthur, my stylist is finished. My friend says he's the best. Bulijone started to Najimana. You are benchmarking on my stylist. You are benchmarking on you are looking at my stylist and making your stylist, and then you are saying you're going to bring it and it's better than mine. You are benchmarking on mine. So you need to, yours needs to be better. If it's not, then sorry guys, I am muting because I am liaising with the person who tugenda okulabako emmotoka. That's why the sound was off. This time it wasn't network. Double cabin eyo bwerabiko obubi. Some of you guys just buy double cabins for the sake of buying double cabins. Jidab. You're not even disabled, Jidab. And some of these cars look really bad. Guys, do you know mumanyi obutunda obuganda? Do you know now there are many? Nzikati wembanve wange wakanva ino obumondo obutunda obuganda obo. I bought some when I was on Mitiana Road last week. Chairman Zak nze badde njako volume. I keep calling to talk to them. Katuna tuke karaji tukuzayo kilomita ngazi hizo. Wano we wali, for the people that don't know, former vice president space yoza wandera kazibino wali yo farm ye. I'm not in Kabali. This is Luwero. This is Luwero now. But some of you guys have bought plots this way, going to, and you think Matuga is far. Some of you guys are going to live further than Matuga. Some of you guys have your plots in Karaji. And you're there saying, Nakasajja. Some of you guys are going to live in Nakasajja. Or you go by Karenge. What you're seeing is what they call Karenge. Chitegeze kabale Karenga abera yonga monji. Sicho. Tunavao wano. Fabagende kayunga. So guys, today I wanted to just remind you guys that if you don't have the right budget for the car, don't try. Enyumba enzimbe yiye jira kulole. I know you guys don't see it clearly, but you know those houses where baletanga babu iwa concrete bubera kobo. Arthur, is it worth refurbishing an old model VW that I have driven for 3 years. Yeah, kati agwamanyi value emoroka yonzi simanyi, but it's worth it. Like if you have to buy another car and you want to buy another car, you can buy another car. But if you don't have the money to buy another car, or if you don't want to buy another car, just refurbish your car and drive it. Wakitegeera nze nabaga emoroka ezange ebiseera ebisinga situunda nti njagala kati nze emoroka eyankati eraba ngene emoroka yange gyenvuga oli ajja buzinampa ofa neŋatwala nga kanjirire njiye emoroka endala. That's how it works. My cars mba nsobola ogyevuga. After the viability seems so low, hopefully you have headlights on already. Visibility. The visibility is okay for me who's driving. The visibility is okay. Kalenga abadde buli wamu mulabye neri gitandikidde when we were starting nga tuli Matugga. Kalenga yonna abaddeyo. Nakasajja. This is Mukono. This is not Luweero actually. Katuyingidde Mukono. Katugenda tuddako wali Karaji. Ngamba amakubo mulaba amakubo malungi. Kala amakubo bagatukolera gonna malungi ebitala bibyo. But you guys, I drove this one time and I felt bad. I drove here at like 5 a.m. And the place was dark. And I was asking myself, and Bakola granite, I think. This is a granite place. This is a granite place for the people that want to use granite on their marble on your kitchen tops. Me, I'm going to, bana abantu bakola ne buno obuyumba. Mubutegedde obuyumba bujja buzimbe ng'opange bwoti. Who knows the use of door molding because water is entering my car? Mitwalo ng'etaano oba mukaaga. Mitwalo ng'etaano oba mukaaga. It's like we are in Canada, right? Or Canadian prairies. Obutisi bwe batusomesa Aba-Canada bwe basimba babitanga batya Mongolia. I never paid attention. Other, what's the price on that Prius? Ndeka, I'm not selling. But in the bond you can get a Prius at 40 million. In the bond 42 there. Also okujifuna. Mwanguzi data started. Your started was a benchmark of mine. It needs to look better. If it does look better, you should be embarrassed. If you are going to the gym, you're working out, you want to look like better go setting nga sina molding. At Matthew so inbox me ku number y'omwana akola ki akufune molding eyo. Naye soko ojja soko omugaye mitwalo ng'esatu olabe. Naye najigula recent, najigula molding eba ya mitwalo ng'etaano. Naye so ano offering emitwalo esatu n'olaba. It costs about 40 million to buy that house and make it habitable. Linda 40 million. Nga yabisenge bimeka Jovan. Ate transportation. After me, I want Alteza 10 million for easy maintenance. Cause we are going to get an Alteza of 10 million. Alteza used to cost 10 million, even 8 million a long time ago. But these days, the Alteza you'll get at 10 million will probably not be a good Alteza. But I cannot dictate the prices. But I'm telling you what I've seen in the market. Edda, the Prados SXs used to cost 7 million, 8 million. But right now, Jinonyi, about 2 rooms. And for me to build 2 rooms, I don't need 40 million. I don't need 40 million. 40 million is banyingi nnyo. Rooms ebbiri ozimbire million nga abiri. Million nga abiri mu ttaano. Kati 40 million is too much. Mpozi gamba bwoba oli ku ttaka lya liizi nga beba naakuggyako liizi, oleta bulesi kariya n'osula nnyumba yo n'ogijjawo n'ogenda. Be the only advantage that comes with that car, with that house. Munagitaddemu sound ya JBL. Sound ya JBL. Like, can you tell the difference if this is JBL or not? Kanze yangu yonga anti sone. I tell the thing with those cars, bumara okufuka mundo moroka ene empye eno. Nakuba muna started kujivuka kyagitya. Kati faamu ya Wandere eri wano. Gano makage. It's nice. Mbadde sigitundangako. It's a very nice house. Kati eno yonna faamu. And that's a very nice building. Looks like a church. World of Bees. Bano bagira mubisi gwa njuki. Factory bagitadde wala nno. Factory and head office. Generally, if aftermarket items are added onto the car, do they add value to the car? No. Aftermarket parts actually reduce the value of the car. There are cars where the value it just maintains. It doesn't really increase the value. Like if you put aftermarket lights on the Mac-X, the value would just stay a little longer because the Mac-X will look better with aftermarket lights. But if you put aftermarket lights on, generally aftermarket lights just maintain the value if they look good. Right? But there are cars whereby if you put aftermarket lights, it just reduces the value. Like you just imagine a Harrier Kawundo with aftermarket lights. You get the people that buy the Harrier, they want to buy the Harrier. They don't want to buy a modified Harrier. If you put aftermarket parts on a Fielder, the value will reduce because a person that's buying a Fielder doesn't want to buy a modified Fielder. They want to buy a Fielder. People even start thinking that modified Fielder electrical faults. Why? It probably modified the wiring and all. So see, the network went off briefly. Katuyingidde Rio Mukono. Tuyingira Karaji actually. Katuyingira Karaji. Those houses are already like concrete made, but they are not worth it. Bwenyo bwogenda kola mizigo gy'abapangiso jja n'okatuuza obuntu bwonga buna n'okola kalina nga kumenye nnyo ne saving obudde n'oga abapangisa bange njagala bayingire next month n'obuteekawo room emwemu obanga ogenda kukola lodge. Naye kati remember there is transportation, olina n'okufuna plan approval. Azimbye asinga era ne bwe babuzibu just okuzimba kutwala obudde naye azimbye asigala asinga. No sinaggala masebu. This is tuyingidde Karaji. Naggala ali maaso eri ogenda mulaba kuba tugenda yitawo. Naye nga sinawulira message ekaaba nti bampereza sente za data. You people, lwaki muli bagumu nnyo? Lwaki muli bagumu? Why are you so hard? Strong. Not strong, hard. Obugumba bwe bubeera strong tebubeera aduwa hard tebuba strong. Lwaki muli bagumu nnyo? Take sente za guys, avoid making fires near your car like that one. Kirabye. Emmotoka yinza oba etonyesayo tufuta tutono weefuna akalire etyo emmotoka nga ekuyiddeko. mwe bagayi okuva lwe baŋŋambye nti gonja alina ebisiraani sikyagala na kulya ku kkubo nga ŋŋenda njagala kunywa soda ti soda omumanya ava mu kyuma ky'abazungu tayinza baako bisiraani. As a man you need to be stingy. Kale nange kambasiibulire wano enkalagi muleme nakulaba gyendaga nange kambasiibulire wano nange mbeere stingy. I asked, but they are expensive. Those houses are not worth it. This is the Kalaji town, eh? So now right now amabaala manene ozanya n'okuzanya balina ebbaala bagiyita Arizona. Nemwe okumanya ng'ensi nnene okimanyi nti abantu balina ekayunga nabo bakola ssente ate bagagga bavundu nga ssente azikola kayunga azikola eno Kalaji. Oli mu kibuga olowooza oli mugagga kati eno round about ogiraba when you go to the right oba ogenda mukono kati when you go to this side direct you're going to Kayunga. For those houses is a network. And you know this Samsung is starting to act like iPhone. One of the I ditched the iPhone was because when the network goes off you would not know. Tosobola kumanya ati kati network evuddeko. And this is the thing that is happening with Samsung now, eh? Kati network evaako n'otamanya ogirabe ekomyoti wedda teriiko. Oba I have to update my Windows Android. Tuyingidde Naggalama yabadde agamba Naggalama. And I'm maintaining the speed limit 50 kilometers per hour. You guys need to pick a leaf. Mubagayi eddakiika ezijja ettaano bwe sifunayo omutwalo gumu ngenda kujjako broadcast eno mbasiibule update sigadde nzibawo enkya mbala ddakiika 5 kandabe. It's 8:59 4 minutes past 9 bwe sifunayo ka data ngenda kujjako live data wange onaakola ekyasigadde ngamba alambuzza kati nno matuusiza na Naggalama. Francis Kale mugamba otya. And guys, because I'm on the highway mugenda kunzikiriza mbasiibule nga sibasomye mannya naye mbaagala nnyo mbaagala nnyo ngenda Kayunga. I'm going to Kayunga at 4 minutes past 9 bwe sifunayo kitwalo wano ekya data ngenda bajjako mbasiibulire awo kati maaso awaabwe obalaba baganda baffe akayakedde yatandizidde okunywa amazzi. Ronald M. Kasendo VIP mulaba lwaki njagala abantu bange aba VIP. Ronald ataddeko ekitwalo mwe bwe mundaba nga nsosowaza abantu bange aba VIP nga muwakana ataddeko ekitwalo agambye tojjako bantu baffe mwe bantu mwe musoke mukubire Ronald engalo ez'omwanguka ataddeko ekitwalo. Love each other. Ongambiddewo nti kale itsoke tujjeeko bantu mwe muli bagumu. Love each other, don't be so hard. Ronald M. webale nnyo ekitwalo tazinze nakwera ddakiika 4. Ona akebera bipapula abadde manyi enamba emulemi okusoma. Alina olugezigezi lungi. So guys, courtesy of Ronald, katugende paka wentuuka wenkoma wengendo bajjirako. The rest of the story after that will be for the VIPs. Ba VIP bagenda okulaba story wendaga kati. Wendaga kati ngenda bajjako nga ntuuseyo. After that the VIPs bagenda ofuna story eyo kubanga egenda bera breaking news. For the guys that don't know, Nagarama, essomero liri Nagarama liri wano. Erya secondary n'erya St Francis Nagarama ya. Then waliwo ne St Joseph secondary Nagarama. Mwa guy, there is a time I came to market this side, emmotoka gye nali nvuga yasuula bridge ngate I cannot go back. Ne nkwata akaboda. Bwe nkwata akaboda nenzijja nasooka nenya taxi paka mukono Lugazi. Then in Lugazi I got a border guy in Lugazi who drove me through Mukono. Then he brought me this side. Ne tuyita we naga tuba tugende Kayunga ne bagamba nga wala. Actually we are going past Kayunga. Yes batya St Kalemba nazigo satukanga wala. Tukawa mu Kayunga yungawo nenkyuka ne tukoma waliwo balinayo ne garden yiyo sezibwa garden enga ntidi. Bakoledde ddala ebintu byabwe. So you people don't fear coming to stay this way. Tetujja bayeeya. Isoba Ivan ngozereti. Nedda David. Siye. Ono gayi yafuna obwemupi Kiwanuka Sulaimani. N'abatira no office wano. For me there are times that I think oba twalize ebintu byabakabaka. Buli kingdom nebeera kabaka waayo ng'ebintu tetubirondako kabaka akola byayagala n'abantu be okitegeera, because a lot of people die in politics. Abantu bamala okufa mu politics omuyayi n'ayingira parliament n'atandika okulya akasente ke. Ronald is strong, sir, but she's also the starlet of Juliet. Arthur, why don't you buy starlet? What starlet? Ede ya zero mileage. Nabagamba 2 ngenda kubangula emmotoka ya zero mileage oba oba kujewola nja kujewola. Ningenda vuga emmotoka ya zero mileage. Ngenda kukebera deadline yange gye neewa. Neewa deadline eteeka kuba yali 2031 oba 2029. Nenga yimmotoka ya zero mileage njisondera otusente twange nja genda tistinjeewole. Waliwo ebintu ebimu ebisaanye okukolwa. Kati kana akatawuni kebayita Nakifuma. And you know when you hear Nakifuma oyinza okulowooza kati n'oli ayinayo ennyumba eno naye tagenda kutugamba. Abaaye ani yazimba Nakifuma tubuulire. Ne babe Nakifuma wa. When we were in high school tunagayi twasomanga ne bamba mwitaani Sekitoleko. Twamwitanga Seeki. Yali akuba engoma nga mumpi nga ayina eddibu. Twalina mu class nga ye musajja mukulu mundoza. Twabera mu class when we were like 16. For him he was like 19. Nga akuba engoma nga musajja mukulu nga wakiwago bwati. Naye nga ava eno Nakifuma. And they have a big supermarket that has branding. It looks like the branding, but they have a big supermarket. That's what it seems like. So guys, we are going to look at a taxi. It has been on the road for some time, and I have someone that also wants to buy a taxi, and he wants to buy the highest for like school van. So I'm going to do assessment both for them and for my project as well. If you can manage that will do him very well. It has been on the road because it has some mechanical issues, and those mechanical issues are what we are going to million shillings. So it has been grounded for some time on the road. Ireje tugenda. Now, for the rest of you guys, you're going to look at that until we get to the car, probably. But starting from when I see the car until whatever happens, that episode is going to be for the VIPs only. We should go back to King. Yeah, Obwakabaka nze mbwagala nnyo. Buli kabaka akola byayagala. Buli omu ye waabwe. Buli omu adde ye waabwe. Bakabaka bakole. Remember when we had kingdoms, the kings were competing. Kabalega nga competing ne kabaka. Yeah? Kabaka na competing and you get me. I find that would be very healthy. They just have to come up with an agreement where they don't fight each other. You stay in your kingdom, I stay in my kingdom. Develop your kingdom, I develop. We benchmark. You guys will find that we develop even more. There would not be killing for power. We know family ya kabaka bibafuga paka tedi kunyega. You get, but this business of us voting when we are not actually voting, us killing each other, arresting each other, bwatika treason. Mbwa kabaka kibakiriya bweyagala okuyekera kabaka bakutta tewali kuwozesa okitegeera. Someone wanted to burn himself in a car. How, Isaac? Tell me more. Ku express nalabyewo yabadde Range Rover ya Spasio tiyabadde na express yabadde wali ndowooza ku lwemunyonyaawo. Then there is another car isoba yabadde paso set eyefudde ani yabadde ayagala okweyokya. There are places I don't know if I can live. Like there is a kind of quietness that comes with areas like this one. Wali quiet in your I think if they just got this area and wanted to find out the GDP of the area here, shillings, GDP. Gabadira bebagaga abayina amasomero. Bana abakola business endala baba bavu. This place is called Narubabwe. Do you guys remember we used this route when we were going to Banana Beach before we did the Gymkhana at Kololo? Every country because the kings start working for their legacies. Let me remind you still, our roads in Uganda got maximum 80 kilometers per hour. 80 kilometers, 80 kilometers per hour. So me, I drive when I'm on a highway that is open like this. I normally do 70 kilometers, 75. When it's safer, it's easier for me to brake at 70 than it is to brake at 90. Then bwogenda ku express awo n'olyoka ovuga ekyenda. The reason they have humps is to tell you, you know what, you need to reduce your speed to 50 kilometers per hour, and that's exactly what I do. Do you know that Ronald M. Kasendwa is the longest VIP member ku channel kuno? The longest. Then nekudako Morad K. Momo, nekudako I think Paul Sema, nenga Morad K. Momo ne Ronald M. Kasendwa. Ronald M. Kasendwa is the longest VIP. I think yanteka ku autopay. Buli mwezi bwe gugwako nga baddamu nga renewing automatic. Arthur, do we still have speed governors? Why not the speed governor? You can't control yourself, Ricky. The speed governors was someone's project. Someone's project. I don't think we need speed governors. We just need serious fines without corruption, without bribes. When they see you have oversped, when they see that you have oversped, they give you a police receipt there there. But make it twagala obulamu bwaffe. So this place is called Ndese. I think I've come to the end of my journey. I want you guys to actually look at the camp we're going to look at. Then abagala okulaba story from there on. You guys are going to then pay for VIP. It's only 10k a month. And then you start seeing that. Nagalari Foundation. So guys, I've come to so you see that taxi that is there, that's the one we have come to see here. And that's where you guys end the journey. So from here on, it's the VIPs that are going to be getting. But I'll see you tomorrow, guys. I wish you a very lovely day. Ciao.